Have you ever wanted to play Monopoly, but in real life? Like actually buy the properties, build the hotels, increase the rent, and own the whole damn thing? That's what we're actually doing. My name's Walker Dybel. I'm the Wall Street Journal bestselling author of Buy Then Build and founder of Build Wealth. My team has 11 off-market properties, mixed use, in one of the highest foot traffic neighborhoods in the entire Midwest. Okay, we're buying the whole thing and we're using the same 7 steps that win the game of Monopoly in real life to build a $200 million real estate portfolio. Don't worry, I'm gonna break it all down for you in this video right now. So here's the deal. All of us have played Monopoly, okay? Everybody on this call has played Monopoly. If you don't know what that is, get off the call because I'm gonna lose you, okay? But here's the thing. Playing Monopoly and winning Monopoly are two totally different things, okay? They're two totally different things. It takes more than just luck, all right? It's about aggressive strategic control and cash flow management, all right? And what we're gonna do right now is break down the 7 steps that you need in order to win at the game of Monopoly, okay? So first of all, buy everything you land on early in the game, okay? And I think we all figure out this first step pretty quickly when we're kids, right? Like in other words, your friend buys everything up and like you don't, you're like saving your cash and you're waiting for a boardwalk or whatever and like it doesn't work out. And you're like, okay, I need to just like buy properties. You need to like get on the board, right? Like that's step 1. You need to get on the board to get some properties. It's all about acquisition, not optimization. Just get out there and buy stuff, okay? That's step 1. And if you don't do that, if you don't get in there and buy assets, it's not going to work out for you and you're going to be one of the first ones to lose. That's step 1. Step 2 is a little less obvious and you have to go a little deeper, okay? When you look at the Monopoly board, what are the spaces that everybody wants? What are the properties that everybody wants? I don't even need to tell you, if you're familiar with this game, it's Boardwalk and Park Place. Everybody wants the premium spots, right? But here's the truth about Monopoly. If you ever notice, it's actually hard to buy them. And the reason it's hard to buy them is because you don't land on them. And that's because statistically, there's other spots on the board that people actually land on, okay? And those spots are over here. It's the orange and the red. These are the high traffic spots, okay? Specifically, Illinois Avenue is the #1 spot in the whole Monopoly board. And second and third are all right here in that corner. Not only does it have to do with like the roll of the dice, okay, and the different combinations that get people there, but it also has to do with the fact that there's a lot of cards and there's a space that gets people to go to jail and then ultimately they roll out and end up right in those spots, okay? Here's the point. Orange and red are cheaper to get into, okay? They're a lower cost of building out properties on it, and it's got high traffic. So you've got a fast ROI, moderate build cost, and a high hit frequency. It's actually exactly the spot that you want to be in if you are playing to win, okay? So don't go for the premium spots, go for the ones with the traffic, all right? Third, step 3, build 3 houses as fast as possible. All right, the reason for this is we need to increase the value of the locations and the properties in which we own. Okay, so once you actually own it, you need to increase the value, and the 3 home is the sweet spot of being able to maximize revenue for cost. Now, here's the other thing that advanced people know. Advanced players in Monopoly know that there's actually only 32 houses in the game. So by buying houses, specifically 3 on each property, okay, they're eating up and constraining the supply, which is restricting other people's ability to get the same property, to get that same asset, okay? So there's a fixed amount of houses, just as there is, say, in real life. Number 4, use trades to create monopolies. So in other words, don't be afraid to trade out of properties that you're not gonna be able to get a monopoly on in order to gain monopolies and build strengths that are gonna be the ways to win the game, okay? So you want full color sets, not quantity of properties once we get into it, okay? That's the mid game. Number 5, okay? Create a mortgage machine, all right? So in other words, don't be afraid to use debt, okay? Don't be afraid to use debt to build up your key assets, okay? Because having liquidity for survival and building out the assets that are most important are more important than owning undeveloped spots that aren't necessarily going to, win you the game and build those inroads of pain into our opponents, all right? 6, your jail strategy evolves, okay? So early in the game, we want to get out of jail. We want to pay to get out of jail because we're still in acquisition mode, right? We want to be able to buy as many assets, as many properties as we possibly can, because that's the game in the early. However, by the time we get to the end of the game, something happens. What happens is every time you're out of jail and you're moving around the board, okay, you have to pay other people rent when you land on their spots. But if you're in jail, at the end, you're actually keeping costs low and increasing your revenue as the other players are moving around the board and hopefully landing on your spots, okay? So you evolve your jail strategy, okay? Finally, you want to optimize for the grand finale. And what this means is you want to focus on building value in the high impact monopolies that will maximize the revenue to you and cause the most pain. It's a board game, it has limits, and cause the most pain, okay, to other people, right? But ultimately, Monopoly takes a long time to play, okay? And most people will not play it long enough. And so if you just are willing to play the long game, what happens is other people will give up because they're playing the quick turn game and you are here to win and you want to own the whole thing. I have one question for you. Have you ever wanted to play Monopoly in real life? We have a playbook to magically turn a $10 million equity investment into a $200 million neighborhood revitalization over the next 10 years, okay? And this ultimately is what Build Legacy 1 is gonna be, okay? It's basically to acquire and build a $200 million mixed-use real estate portfolio in the trophy neighborhood of the Central West End in St. Louis. This is the Central West End map, and this, my friends, is what's going to be our Monopoly board. So let's dig in to why that is. It's the second highest rental rate, second in the Midwest, second only to Wacker Drive in Chicago. We have Washington University in St. Louis, the #1 law school in the country, as well as ranked engineering, business, law, etc. Then to the north, you've got the Del Mar Loop, which is a big student area, highly populated, vibrant area. And down to the south, you've got the Grove neighborhood. There's a lot going on here. We have an independent bookstore, for crying out loud. Who has that? Remember that? Guys, we have the World Chess Hall of Fame in the Central West End, okay? And you might be thinking, Walker, really? Like chess? Yeah, guys, chess. Like international competitions in the Central West End, okay? And we have architecture to die for. We've got brand new, like very sexy, high rises. We have turn of the 19th century, homes. Look at these like brownstone, like, townhomes. I mean, look at the basilica. Look at the basilica. If you walk inside this basilica, it looks like this. It looks like this. Okay? And if that's not your taste, don't worry. We have a Whole Foods. Okay? So the Central West End has become the single most in-demand neighborhood, debatably, I'll say, in the entire Midwest. Okay? This is our Monopoly board. Walker, okay, I get it. It's a board. It's a Monopoly board. I get it. What are those 7 steps again? Okay, let's break it down. Number 1, buy everything you land on early in the game. Okay, now, these are the 11 properties, okay, that we currently have under contract to close next month. Number 2, target the orange and red properties. Remember those high traffic properties? Guys, we will own next month when we close on this, all 4 corners of the highest foot traffic intersection in the entire Central West End. So step 3, build 3 houses as fast as possible. That's code for increase the value of what you own. So, okay, anything that's highlighted, these are the properties we're buying. Now, by increasing the value, we have identified out of the 11, there are 8 that have revenue increasing opportunities available right away. 4, use trades to create monopolies. In other words, give up things that you're not using in order to favor building monopolies around the areas that are your strengths, okay? what this is code for here is we have a pipeline of additional properties that I can't really talk about because I don't want anyone seeing this video and going after them. But because our team works in this neighborhood and has built, off-market deal pipeline, we have additional sellers that are interested in selling to us. Some of them are very, very close to the other properties that we're buying right here. Number 5, create a mortgage machine. So use leverage to expand organically. Well, look, here's a huge multifamily housing without off-street parking. And here is 1.1 acres of parking that we will own this time next month. Well, it's also one of the only opportunities for ground-up construction that is still around in the entire Central West End. And by the way, it neighbors all 4 corners that we're already going to own, okay? Step 6, your jail strategy evolves, okay? What that means is manage your properties and build equity, all right? So ultimately, this is the part where once you have gone out and done the acquisition and done the value increase, now you sit back and get out of the fray and manage it properly and let it all build equity, okay? In that, at that moment, this is when we are trying to actually build up the community and increase, the foot traffic and increase the reasons to go and increase the reasons that you want to be there and have all of those things that create true, vibrant neighborhoods. That's the goal, okay? So let's break it down in terms of step 7 is optimized for the grand finale. So I want to show you some projections, okay? You put in 150,000 and ultimately we start to get a little cash out in year 3, 15,000, so 10%. Then a 12% cash out in year 4, 15 in year 5. Starting in year 6 and beyond, the goal is 20% cash on cash returns, okay? So, you can do the math there. The last 5 years, you're going to get your money back, and then this is going to be some bonus cash flow. And then we've got the big exit in year 10, okay? You can't project out this far. And we've got a 5.37x return. So $150,000 investment would return a little over $800,000 at the end of the decade, just as a hypothetical example. Now, I also want to take just a second and compare it to this equivalent investment in the stock market. So you put in 150,000. Now here's the deal. You cannot touch it. The minute you touch your money, you've interrupted the compounding, okay? So even though we know it's liquid, you can't touch it, okay? If the market like bombs out and you freak out and sell, you're out. So we have to assume, same underwriting model as up there, a moderately aggressive equities only portfolio, 150,000 in, and then you wait 10 years out and you're going to get $340,000. So 2.26x with no tax benefits or anything like that, unless this happens to be in your retirement account. This, of course, starts opening up 1031 exchanges and all kinds of other things that we're not going to go into here. But the point is comparatively, you start to understand why David Swensen and a lot of ultra high net worth individuals start to play in the real estate game.